In this video, I'll be going over how the Thunderbolts post-credit scene sets up the next few films and the ultimate collapse of the multiverse. I will be breaking down the scene, so spoilers ahead if you have not yet seen the film. Once you have seen it, come back to this video. We will only be going over the second post-credit scene. Welcome back to the channel, and if it's your first time, welcome, and let's get into it. We see the new Avengers, which is what this team's name is revealed to be. We see the new A logo as they walk through a new door that twists as it opens, similar to how the X-Men door opens in those films. They are in the former Avengers Tower, where they are now stationed, and we see them with new suits as the scene takes place 14 months from the film's ending. Yelena says that they are the Avengers. How does Sam Wilson not understand that? Bucky exclaims that Sam Wilson does have the shield, referencing Steve Rogers' Captain America's shield. John Walker claims he also has a shield too, but it's just not the same. Walker's shield is still molded and bent as it was seen at the end of the film. It turns out that Sam Wilson is trying to copyright the Avengers name, and the world does not view them as the Avengers. Yelena asks Bucky if he has talked to Sam, and he says yes, but it did not go well. Yelena then talks about how they are not being told about the space crisis. She then runs a full report for a threat analysis through the new AI that they are using. We see Alexei trying to fix the name problem by wearing a jumpsuit, and it says the Avengers with the Z. Yelena looks with a blank stare and says no. We then cut to Bob, Sentry, and he is reading a book. An alert suddenly goes off saying unidentified craft entering orbit. Bucky tells Yelena to bring up the satellite image and to fire up the jets, which means we could be seeing a new version of the Quinjet in the future. Alexei says that they could use Sentry to fly, but it is revealed that Bob cannot become the Sentry without the Void also coming out, and that would be catastrophic. John Walker jokingly says, "What were you gonna do, ride Bob into the sky?" And Alexei says, "Yes, can you imagine Red Guardian riding on top of the Sentry cresting over clouds?" This could be foreshadowing this happening in the upcoming Avengers films. The satellite image pops up and says, "Flight image populated. Extra-dimensional ship entering atmosphere." Alexei says, "Extra-dimensional? What does that mean?" It is distinct, but you can hear the Fantastic Four theme play as the image shows a ship heading towards Earth, and as it zooms in, we see the Fantastic Four Big Four logo. We cut to Yelena staring at the image, and then it cuts. This is huge because this is the first sign of the first official crossover with the Fantastic Four and the 616 universe. This post-credit scene was actually directed by the Russo bros and non-Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier. This scene will most likely be one of the scenes in the first half of Avengers Doomsday. Marvel has done this in the past where they have used a scene from the next film as a post-credit scene. It seems that this strategy is what they are going back to. This post-credit scene seemingly confirms that either the Fantastic Four Earth is consumed by Galactus in that film, or they abandoned their universe to protect their people and are coming to 616 to seek refuge and warn them about the coming threat of Doom. The Fantastic Four First Steps may have a subplot with Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom, as their relationship is huge in the comics. If this does not happen in this film, it will most likely happen in Doomsday. The post-credit scene for the Fantastic Four First Steps may give us our first look at Doom, as Doomsday has just started production. Back to the Thunderbolts post-credit scene. Yelena mentions how there is an ongoing space crisis that they are not being told about. I believe that the space crisis could be the incursions that are starting to happen and the rips in space that have started to occur. We know that at the end of the Marvel's film, Monica Rambeau tries to close the tear in space and she ends up stuck on the other side of the rift. It is revealed that the universe she ends up in is none other than an X-Men universe. We see her mother Maria Rambeau, but she is none other than binary in this universe, and we also see Hank McCoy's Beast. This universe is speculated to be the 1005 universe, which is where the X-Men films and the Deadpool films take place. We learn in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness that an incursion is the result of an object not being in its universe, and this triggers an incursion to begin. With Monica Rambeau being stuck in the X-Men universe, this is going to cause an incursion. We know that during an incursion, two universes collide and only one survives by destroying the other. When the 616 universe and the X-Men universe collide, this will lead to an Avengers vs X-Men fight, and Monica could be the key to stop this, as she has been in both universes and also in the X-Men universe for some time, and can perhaps convince them not to fight and try to find another way. Now, let's not forget about Universe 838, which was the universe from Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. We know that the 616 Doctor Strange went to that universe, and Wanda also dreamwalked in her other universe self. We know the damage that Wanda did by killing the Illuminati members, which included Anson Mount as Black Bolt, Haley Atwell as Captain Carter, Kara Modo, Maria Rambeau as Captain Marvel, John Krasinski as Reed Richards, and Patrick Stewart as Professor X. With the damage that Wanda did by killing these characters, this is also going to trigger an incursion, so we could also see this universe colliding with the 616 universe. There are also the other universes of other characters such as Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's respective Spider-Man. If there are any more legacy characters that will show up other than the X-Men, such as the 05 Fantastic Four team, as we saw in Deadpool and Wolverine, that universe does exist in this multiverse, as we saw Chris Evans' Human Torch, and he talked about how his Reed Richards, played by Ian Grufford, and knew about the Void and studied it. These legacy characters will most likely not show up until Secret Wars if they do end up appearing. There are many universes that can't collide, but the main ones that will collide will most likely be the 616 universe, the 1005 universe, and perhaps the 838 universe, as the events that happen in Multiverse of Madness cannot go untouched. We also have to think about which universe the upcoming Fantastic Four First Steps is in. In a recent video, I speculated that because we are getting Shalabal's Silver Surfer in this iteration, this universe could be 997, as it is the only universe in the comics where Shalabal takes on the moniker of the Silver Surfer. Also, if Doctor Doom is not from the Fantastic Four universe, then there is also his universe that can be explored. There were some leaks and rumors earlier this year that Doctor Doom may be from the original timeline before He Who Remains created the sacred timeline that we know as the 616. In this rumor, it is said that He Who Remains removed the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and Doctor Doom because he knew that they could overthrow him. But with only the Avengers being in the timeline that he created, he would be able to rule over it. It has been rumored that Doomsday may address the King storyline by having Doom kill all the King variants off screen and explain it that way. So the question is, where does Doom come from? The most logical answer is to have him come from the universe that the Fantastic Four First Steps is set in, but if these leaks have any validity to them, I could also see Doom coming from the original timeline before He Who Remains took over. With all this information that we have, we can determine that there are about 4 universes that can collide with each other. Depending on the other legacy characters that they decide to bring in, these are the universes that will most likely be involved. We know about at least half the characters that will show up in Doomsday thanks to the cast reveal Marvel Studios did earlier this year, and we will most likely be getting the rest of the cast later this year. Other legacy characters will most likely show up in Secret Wars when the multiverse is truly collapsed, and these legacy characters will get a send-off as Kevin Feige has teased, and the rumor soft reboot will start with the end of the current MCU that we all love. This Thunderbolts post-credit scene is the perfect tease for what is coming next in the MCU. With incursions being teased to already be happening, the end of the multiverse is near. Which universes do you think will collide? Which universe does Doctor Doom come from? Comment down below. Follow us on next at Films HQ. Make sure to drop a like and hit the subscribe button to help the channel grow. Turn on notifications to never miss an upload, and until next time, God bless. See you soon.